Okay, let's actually run that script on your actual Hadoop sandbox and find some oldie but goodie movies to watch. So I've already spun up my virtual machine here, so if you haven't done that already, load up the virtual box and kick off your Hortonworks Docker sandbox. And once you have that screen, we can continue to the Ambari view here. Just again, type in 127.0.0.1:8080 to get to that screen. And you can log in as Maria_dev, password Maria_dev, and you should see a little something like this. Now, the first thing we need to do is make sure the data that we need for our pig script is actually in HDFS. So to do that, go up to the Files view here. And what we're going to do is go under User, Maria_dev. That's basically our home directory here on HDFS. And if I've already placed the data here, if you need to do so, go ahead and hit New Folder and create an ML-100K folder just like that. Okay. If you need to follow along here, feel free to hit pause as you go along. Once you have that folder created, you're going to upload the u.item and u.data files from the Movie Lens dataset. And again, we downloaded that earlier in the course. If you need to go get it though, you can head over to grouplens.org, which is here. Go to datasets, and we're working with the 100,000 ratings dataset. So that's going to be this guy here, ml-100k.zip. So once you've extracted that somewhere, you can upload into HDFS the u.data and u.item files from that distribution. And you can just use the upload button here to do that. You can drag and drop them or click that to actually select them from your file system. So once you have this set up under user MariaDev ml-100k u.data and u.item, we can move on and write a pig script to actually do something with that data. So to do that, we're going to go back to the Views menu here and go to Pig View. And this lets us interactively write pig scripts and run them and save them and stuff. And you can see I've already done this, but for you, since you're just starting off, you're going to hit New Script right here. And give that script a name like, I don't know, oldies but goodies. I don't know. It doesn't have to be all. It can be human readable, that's fine. And if you want to specify a specific location for that script to exist so you can find it easily later on and actually run it from the command line, maybe you can do that, but you don't have to. And you should see a script like this, a screen like this. So from here, you can just start typing in stuff. Start typing in your pig script. So I want you to stay on this screen. I'm going to go back to the one that I already entered so you can take a look at it. And I named that Oldest 5-Star Movie. So hit pause on this screen, and I want you to type this in exactly as shown into that window for your new script, your new pig script. Pay attention to everything, every little punctuation mark, every little semicolon matters, okay? In fact, let's go to full screen here, make sure you can see everything. Okay, so hit pause at this point and type this in, and when you're done, hit resume. Are you done typing yet? Okay, cool. So now that we've done that, we can come out of full screen here and we can actually execute this thing. So triple check all your typing here. Make sure you got all semicolons where they should be, and capitalization matters, especially in the paths here and this string here and all that. So double check or else you get an error. That'd be bad. So when you're ready to actually run this, hit execute and off it goes. So this will bring up a new little tab here that shows a view of what's going on. It's running and it's thinking about how it's going to get started right now. So right now it's kind of converting everything into MapReduce and getting ready to actually execute those MapReduce jobs under the hood. So it's kind of cool again here. We wrote a pretty simple script that does a fairly complex set of operations on the Movie Lens data set. You know, we're filtering it, we're sorting it, we're converting timestamps, we're looking for movies that are over a certain rating and sorted by release date. And it's going to translate that all into MapReduce for us. And we can see it's starting to go at this point. It's measuring progress of each step, basically, of MapReduce as it goes. And I'm going to actually move forward through time here through the magic of video editing. So go ahead and hit pause and hit resume once this is finished for you. Okay, we're back and the job has completed and we can see our results here. Now, while it's fresh in your head, I want you to think about how long that took. Probably took a couple of minutes, right? You know, and I'm on a pretty fast computer here, so it might have taken even longer for you. So keep that in the back of your head, because there's a way we can make this go faster that we're going to do. But let's take a look at our results. They're pretty exciting. So as we saw before, the oldest good movie, where we're defining good as an average rating of more than 4 stars, was The Thin Man from 1934. And you can go through this list and find some stuff you might want to watch if you want to kind of go back to the golden era of cinema. Obviously, some classics there. The Maltese Falcon, Citizen Kane, a personal favorite of mine because, you know, my name is Frank Kane. Casablanca, all the stuff you'd expect, and also a few things you might not have heard of before. So, you know, you might want to go and discover some of these things you might not have considered watching before, like My Man Godfrey. Some of this stuff from the 30s, you know, it's so old you've probably never even heard of this stuff, but it's still good stuff. I'm a fan of stuff from the 40s and 50s. Rear Window, that's a really good one. I love that one. So definitely recommend watching some of these. The African Queen, some great stuff here. All right, so there you have it. If you see, now this is what you should see. Now, if you had any typos or if you didn't actually put things where they belong in HDFS, instead you would have got an error. And if you actually open up the logs view here, it will probably tell you somewhere in here, instead of info, it will say error somewhere and tell you exactly what went wrong. So that will hopefully give you a clue as to where your typo is or where you didn't put things in the proper place. And it also gives you some details about the actual script that it ran. So this is just the text of the script that it actually executed down here. Now you can also download the results here using the download button. And you know, if you're just messing around, that's a perfectly good way of getting results out of this. But obviously in a production setting, you wouldn't want to be doing that. Instead, you would probably be using the store command to actually save your results to a file as part of the script when it's done. But there you have it. Pig in action, running for real on your PC on an actual Hadoop stack that you are running. Congratulations, you actually ran some pig code. Typed it in yourself, ran it, got some results. Now, next thing I want to do is tell you how to make this even faster. So the really cool thing about Pig is that it doesn't have to use MapReduce at all. It can use Tez. And like we talked about before, Tez uses what's called a directed acyclic graph to actually analyze all the interrelationships between the different steps that you're doing and try to figure out the most optimal path for executing things. So you can see there's a bunch of steps we're doing here, and they're all kind of interrelated. So there are various dependencies between each of these operations. And Tez will actually break those down and figure them out, and figure out the quickest way of actually getting the end result that you want. So it kind of works backwards from the final result that you want and figures out the quickest path to get there. And to do that, all we have to do is click this Execute on Tez button here and execute it again. So remember, think back to how long it took using MapReduce. Now we're going to do it again using Tez, and I bet you it's a lot quicker. So let's kick that off. You'll see it kicks off a new tab containing the progress of this new Tez job, and we can actually go back, and the results from the previous run on MapReduce are still there, so we can actually compare the two to make sure they're the same. Spoiler alert, they will be the same. And once this gets going, you know, right now it's again thinking about what it needs to do and scheduling everything that needs to be done. But once it gets going, it's going to be pretty darn quick. So I'm not even going to skip ahead in time here. Chug, chug, chug. And we're done. Huh? How about that? That was like, 10, 20 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. Let's be generous, okay? But, we're talking about, probably like a factor of 10 faster here. So that's pretty exciting, right? And this is a pretty recent development in Pig as well. So, Tez integration is kind of a newish thing, but you can see it's very powerful. So this is kind of putting Pig, back in the running, if you ask me. I mean, Pig kind of like took a back seat to other technologies like Spark for a while, but with Pig integrated with Tez, it's a pretty simple way to get some stuff up and running on your cluster and do some pretty complicated analysis and also do it in a very quick and efficient manner. So I find this pretty exciting. Pig plus Tez, it's a winning combination. And there you have it, the same results we had before. More movies to go look up and watch. And there you have it, actually running a Pig script on your cluster. Up next, I've got a challenge for you. So let's talk about that in our next lecture.